Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and this will be a short one because I'm kind of tired. And I wanted to just share with you some of my thoughts about the speech. I tried doing it with like a live commentary thing as he was going, but that didn't work out. And so I decided to scrap that and just do this instead because I'm sure you probably all watched it. Now, I want to tell you the first thing that this speech was not necessarily for us. Okay, that's going to sound weird, but it really wasn't for people who are aware of a lot of the things that are going on right now and aware of what the real problems are at the border. This speech was for people who are not aware, people who have been watching the mainstream media and who have heard a whole lot of lies about what he was going to say. You know how they hyped it up and they were saying, oh, he's going to lie about this, he's going to lie about that. But yet everything he was saying is verifiable, and he used a lot of emotional stories that are going to play very well with most people who aren't aware of what's really going on. So I think he did a very good job. That was the purpose of it. It also was a way of trolling the Democrats and the mainstream media because they were putting out that, he is a lunatic, he's crazy, and he's power hungry, and he wants to become a dictator and everything. And the whole point of him not responding to the national emergency and calling that up and using that to get the wall played very well for him because that's what the mainstream media was saying. Oh, he's going to do that. He's going to do that. And look what, he just wants to be a dictator and that's why he's going to get his own way. And no, he threw it all back on them. He reframed it as protecting the people you love, Americans. And that was beautifully done the way he did it. And in this way, he's showing to the people just how wrong they were about him. And he did it in such a presidential way. He was very calm, he was very serious, he used good language. It was presidential. And that took a lot of the wind out of their sails because the MSM, they were so claiming he was going to just make a fool of himself and he's not presidential at all. And yet, this is the first time he's had to talk to the American people like this, and he came off beautifully. He came off as a true president. And that's what he probably intended to do. I can't read his mind. Obviously, I don't know. But I really think that was the plan. That he was not speaking to those of us who understand what's going on. He was speaking to those who have been betrayed by the mainstream media, who have been lied to, and who don't really understand just how bad it is at the border. They don't understand what the real stakes are. And that's what he laid out. I think he did it in a very logical and a very calm manner. And like I said, presidential. And I think that was the key to it. It needed to be presidential. It was nice and short, didn't go on and on. It hit the topics it needed to hit, and he was done. So I really think he did a very good job with it tonight. I don't think it's what a lot of people wanted to have happen. Those of us who know the score, let's face it, we wanted to see him get in there and really rip him to shreds. But that would not have been good. He needed to come across as the president, and he did. He did a very good job. There was no quibble about what he said. If you watch the rebuttal that Chuck and Nancy did, it was pitiful. I mean, it had nothing to do with his speech. So it was like, well, there shouldn't be a wall because we don't think there should be a wall, so there shouldn't be a wall. They gave absolutely no good reasons for it. And so, I don't know, I'm sure some people will believe them, but for the most part, I think most people are going to listen to him. And I think he did a really good job of presenting his position, presenting a good defense for the wall. And I think this is setting things up for later because he now has exposed them for what they are, that they're not interested in protecting the American people. They have their political agenda, and that's what they want to have happen. And their agenda is oppose Trump because they did support it in the past, and now they're turning around and not supporting it purely because Trump is for it. And that is not going to play well with a lot of people. And I think the stories he chose were wisely chosen, and they will tug on the heartstrings of a lot of people. So I think he did a very good job. I think it was well worth watching. And the Pelosi Schumer one, Oh, my, my, my. I mean, what can you say about these people? What's really fun to do is to turn off the sound and watch their body language. She looks like she's kind of a deer in the headlights. Her eyes are real wide and everything, and she doesn't appear to be connected to what she's reading. It's like she's reading something and she really is not paying attention to what she's reading. And then him, he is just sitting there as the sidekick. I don't know what's going on with his mouth. He keeps grimacing every so often. It'll be interesting to see if the body language ghost does a view on them. I really would like to hear that. So I don't know. It's always fun to look at them and watch their physical body gestures and everything, but I can't listen to them too much. It really gets to me. So, anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. There's one last thing that I wanted to include in this, and it really has nothing to do with any of this, but it was something fascinating I found on the boards tonight. The Anons have discovered that if they take these government PDFs that they're finding and that are being put out there, and if they copy and paste redacted portions into a regular text editing program, they can see what's there. And so they found out what was under this redaction in the Manafort documents. Manafort wanted this stuff to come out, but Mueller and his people sealed it. So this information under this is just amazing what they're finding out. And they're going through a lot of other documents and trying to find out what's under the redactions. So evidently what happened, if I understand this correctly, when they did them, they just somehow put a black over it. And since the text was black and you put this black line over it, it makes it so you can't read it. But the text is still there. It's just the same color as this black that's on top. So that's how I think they're doing it. And somebody put it up on Twitter that this was possible, and the Anons have really been going crazy with it. Of course, they took time out to listen to the speech tonight, and the board was going so fast. It was hard to keep up because they just were getting so many posts and everything. But it was interesting to read what the different reactions were. I think there were a lot of shills on there tonight, and that made it difficult to wade through all the garbage and get to the real meat of things. But of course, this is something very important. And this discovery happened shortly before POTUS spoke. So they really have not been able to do too much digging on it yet, but they are working. That's one of the first things they did was they started going back to all these PDF documents that they have to see if they could find out if they can read what's underneath the black. Wouldn't that be something? So I don't know. I haven't had a chance to try it out myself, but I've got some PDFs that I've downloaded and I sure would like to see what's under those black marks. So I thought I'd share that with you, and if you have some of the PDFs yourself, you can just go through and see if it works. I don't know. I hope it does. It worked for this. And so it's very interesting to see what they're digging up. And I'm anxious to see once it calms down from the speech, because it was pretty hyper then. But it'll start to calm down over the night shift, and probably tomorrow morning they may have some more leads. It'll be interesting to find out and see what they dig up. So that's what I've got for you tonight, and I want to thank you for stopping by. I'm not going to put any links down below because it's pretty easy to find the clips of Pelosi and Schumer, and they're both on Fox News. And this you can go to the White House. That's the one I watched on. One last point here. Notice it's kind of orange. And some of the feeds I heard were really orange, but I watched it on the White House feed, and it was perfectly clear. His face was not orange. So I don't know if they were doing that on purpose or what the situation was. Seems a little funny to me, but anyway, that's what we discovered. I saw some pictures side by side of the different feeds, and there really was a significant difference. So, and you can even tell back here, look at the white on the flag. It's not really white. So something, the color is just not right on it. So anyway, and that's Fox. This is Fox News. So who knows? Anything to make POTUS look worse, right? Even Fox News sometimes does this. There are people at Fox who definitely are against Trump. So be aware of that if you watch Fox News only. It's interesting. Now, I didn't see what Bernie Sanders had to say. I just wanted to get this done, get it out there. Just thought I'd bring it all to you, and who knows, maybe Bernie had some wisdom or something. Probably not. But anyway, so that's what I've got for you tonight. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you all later.